So one of the things that you want to do when you are just finishing your course is that you want to start to set up your branding, okay? This industry is 50% technique, 50% marketing and business. You cannot have a successful microblading business if you only know the microblading part, right? Or the ombre powder brows part, or the permanent makeup part, okay? It is 50% technique, 50% marketing and business, okay? You cannot have a successful business if you don't know marketing and you don't know business operations. So that's first. You can't just learn the technique and think that everything's going to be good. You can't just learn the technique and think that people are going to fly into your studio. That's not the way that it works, okay? So, hi Lilium, how are you? I'm excited to see you here. So, you want to set up your branding. That's first. You want to come up with your name, whatever it is that you're going to call yourself. Whatever it is that you're going to call your business. What is your brand name going to be? Okay? If you want my opinion on your name, feel free to drop your name in the comments and I will give you my opinion on your name if you want to. Okay. So that's first. You want to get your logo designed. It doesn't need to be a complicated logo. It needs to be a simple logo, okay? When you're starting, don't get hung up on the small things. Literally, I did not have business cards for the first 4 years of my business. And I have a multiple six-figure business. And I literally just got business cards. You don't need business cards are not, like, the people spend so much money on the things that don't matter. And it's really, really not necessary. Okay? Not necessary. The old school way of marketing is over. Forget about the old school way of marketing. It doesn't work. So, you want to select your name. That's first. You want to get your logo. That's something else you want to do. You want to set up your social media accounts. That means your Instagram, your Facebook. You want to be setting up your brand colors, whatever those brand colors are going to be. Your brand kit. So what goes in a brand kit? It is your brand colors. It is your logo, your name, the fonts that you're going to be using. All of that stuff can be decided in, you can create that stuff in Canva, okay? So if you are just starting off, you want to get a Canva account and you want to select your brand colors, your fonts that you're going to be using, and your logo and your business name, okay? Good. So from there, you're going to want to purchase a domain. What does that mean? That means that you're purchasing the website where your business is going to live on the internet. Our business has to have an online presence, right? So when you are setting up your business, you need to have an online presence, which means a domain, right? Right. So whatever that's going to be. What is a domain? It means, like, my business is called Browsthetics. So it's www.browsthetics.com. That's a domain, okay? Once you do that domain, then you're going to get an email for your business, right? And you're going to set up your website. So I'm going to backtrack here to make sure that we have everything. We're selecting a name for your business, getting a logo designed, setting up your social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if you're going to be using TikTok, deciding on your brand colors, your font, purchasing your domain, getting an email, and a website. Okay, I just went through my list. I'm going to answer questions as we're going along. I have a lot to cover, but we're just going to start with this for now. Should you do an LLC? Okay, the question is, should you do an LLC? So, okay, so I'm gonna give you my opinion on this LLC. All right, so it really depends on you. An LLC, if I'm not mistaken, is taxed the same way that an LLC is taxed the same way that a sole proprietorship is. The difference is that it's called a limited liability company. And you can, basically you're separating yourself from the business. So an LLC is a limited liability company. You're separating yourself from the business. You can get an LLC. In the state of Massachusetts, it costs $500 to get an LLC and to maintain an LLC. Every year, you have to pay $500. Other states, it's less. I personally don't have an LLC. I have an S Corp. An S Corp is basically a corporation. I personally talk to my accountant and I tell him what I have going on. I tell him my vision for the business, and he guided me toward getting an S Corp. So you don't need to get an LLC right from the beginning. You can operate as a sole proprietor. Once you have your business going, you can get an LLC. What's your background? What do you mean? Do you mean my career background, or do you mean like my ethnicity or nationality? Insurance, you should definitely need to get insurance before you start working on people, because you are open to lawsuits. And you can still get sued with an LLC, so it doesn't cover you from being sued. You can get sued anyway. You can get sued no matter what you have, whether it's an LLC or an S Corp. The difference is that you can't be, they can only sue you for like what the business has, and they can't come after your personal assets. That's the difference. My ethnicity is, I am Puerto Rican. Okay, let's get back to the business at hand. So, we've got our list going of the things that we're doing, right? We have our list going. Now, you need to start posting on your social media accounts immediately. When you take the course, even while you're in the course, you still need to be posting on your social media. Now, you might not have things to post, and people tell me, well, I don't have anything to post. Well, you know what? Here's some ideas. You can post your latex practice work. You can post, with permission, your trainer's work, and tell people, hey, you know what? This is who I train from. This is the work that she creates. I am so happy that I'm training under this person, and I'm looking for models, okay? You can post a picture of yourself with your certificate. You can post educational content explaining to people what it is that you do, and talk to them about your education, especially my students that have been through the program. You guys have a lot of education. You are ahead of the curve. You invested in something really, really good, and you need to let the world know that. Let the world know that you invested into something and you're very serious about this career, okay? You need to share your journey on social media. You can't just pop up out of nowhere and say, oh, by the way, I'm doing eyebrows. No, take them on your journey with you. The first picture should be you with your certificate of attendance. Then you can start posting your latex work. You can post your models that you've done. You can post educational stuff. You can post some personal stuff and start to share your journey with your audience. You cannot just pop up and say, oh, by the way, I'm doing this new business. People are going to be like, what the hell? Where did that come from? You know, you can't do that. You have to take them on a journey with you. People don't like to be surprised on social media. People like to know what's going on. People want to be engaged in your journey. So take them on the journey with you, and you will see that they're going to respond a lot better. Okay, now we went through that. Every single person in your network should know what you're doing. There shouldn't be one person in your network that doesn't know what you're doing. Everyone needs to know that so-and-so is doing eyebrows now. Because you can't have a business if you are keeping it a secret. Okay? Some people don't want to tell people because you're afraid of what other people are thinking. You're afraid of what so-and-so is going to say. You're afraid of what your friends are saying. You're afraid of what your husband's family is going to say. We don't care. We don't care what they have to say. Why? Because they don't pay your bills. So if someone doesn't pay your bills, that means that you don't care about their opinion. Pretty much. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so when you are launching a new business, we do not keep it a secret. We tell the world, the whole world, your network. Now, don't expect your friends, family, and everybody to just jump in and like tell you that they want their brows done, because that's not how it works. We don't depend on friends or family to operate a business. So we depend on the public. You didn't open up a business to only service your friends and family. You opened up a business to service the public. So if you are counting on just your friends and family to get your business going, it's not gonna work out for you. Okay, and then you need to, so let's get back on track because I got off track. Find a location and apply for your license and your insurance, right? So we're finding our location, we're applying for our license and our insurance. Hey, Kendrika. Okay. So once you're done all of that, of course, before you even do this, you need to know why you got into this industry. Why is it that you're doing what you're doing? So, because things are going to get tough in business. Things are going to get difficult in business. Everything is not going to go all smooth all the time, you know? People that are seasoned entrepreneurs know that failure happens every single day. Failure happens every single day in business. As an entrepreneur, we are constantly failing and we're learning and we're growing with it and we're rolling with it. We're learning. So, in order to keep that fire going, you need to know, why is it that you're doing what you're doing? Why is it that I decided that I'm going to take this course and change my career? You know, is it because I'm tired of the 9-to-5 grind? I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I want to be able to give my kids a better life. I want to give my mother a better life. I want to take care of my grandmother. I'm talking about me. Those are all the reasons of why I decided to do what I was doing. So you got to keep that in the back of your head when things get tough. When things get tough, you have to keep that in the back of your mind. Okay. Do you recommend getting a place with no clientele? I'm reading from my phone so that I can see what's going on. So I recommend that you either rent a room from someone else that's already doing what you're doing, like another artist. Rent a room from them on their day off. So for example, if they don't see clients on Sunday, you can rent the room from them on Sunday. People are always looking, they should be always looking on how to maximize the money that they're making from their space. So build a relationship with some artists in your area and share a space with them. That would be the first way to start, because that way you have low overhead. When you're starting in this business, you want to keep your overhead super, super low. You don't want to get into a huge rent and paying like a lot of money in rent and you don't have any clients. So, I'm sorry, y'all. So I'm reading your question here. Okay, so you definitely don't want to get into an expensive rent when you have no clients, because then you're going to feel like you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy at all. So, okay, do you recommend getting a place with no clientele? Okay, so let me know if that helps answer your question. So make sure that you're identifying your why and why you're doing what you're doing, because that's what's going to keep you going when things are rough. So number one option for getting a room is sharing a space with another artist when you're first starting, or renting a space. Like for me, I'm starting to rent to my students. I'm going to start to rent space to my students. What do you think of a home studio that's very professional looking? Okay, so I'm going to tell you my opinion on home studios, and then we can go back and forth on this. So, my thing about a home studio is it's okay if it's professional looking and you're going to save money. If you don't mind people coming into your space, then that's okay. Okay? That's okay. If there's like a real financial reason for you to have a home studio and it's legal in your state, then it's okay. Yes, in some places it's illegal, but I would tell you what, if it's legal for you to do a home studio and you want to start that way, and that's the lowest overhead way to start, then do that. Always start with super, super low overhead. Do not get into a high rent. Please don't do it. Start with something, whatever is your easiest way, that's what you're going to do. Use what you have. So if yours is separate, that's fine. That's good. That's a good thing. So keep yours separate. The reason why I necessarily didn't do a home studio was because I wanted to have a big business, and I didn't want to have people coming in and out of my space. People that I don't know. People that, just random people. I don't want people to even know where I live. So are you renting strictly from your students, or are you willing to rent to a new artist as well? It really depends on, if you're not my student, the thing about it is that everybody has a different training and a different way of doing things. And for me, like bloodborne pathogens and cleanliness is super, super important. So my first preference is to rent to people that I've trained. To be 100% honest with you, I prefer to rent to people that I've trained. Because I know what I've taught them. But I may be willing to rent to someone else. It would be on a case-by-case basis that I would communicate. I would have to get with you on a one-on-one basis. How much would you pay for rent for one day in someone's studio? If you're just gonna rent randomly, I think the going rate is like $150 a day. I recommend that you do like every Saturday. That way you can negotiate with them, like every Saturday. Okay, so we went through our whole list of what we need to have done. All right, cool. So let's continue. Okay, so when you're deciding on whether you want to do an LLC or an S Corp, just get with an accountant. Whoever does your taxes, get with your CPA to see what works best for your business. You also need to get a tax ID, which is an EIN number. EIN number. It's basically your business's social security number. You're going to need that for when you do your taxes, and you need to register with the Secretary of State. So we have all that going. We have our Facebook page. We have our Instagram page. We have our website. One thing that I didn't mention is the Google listing. You also want to list your business on Google. That's super, super, super important. You cannot not have your business on Google. Google is super important. and you're announcing to everyone that you have a new career. You're telling everybody that you know what you do. You cannot have a business if you're going to keep it a secret, okay? So if you're going to keep your business a secret, not a good idea. Don't get into business if you want to keep it a secret. Okay. So, what are your pain points right now? Where are you struggling? I'm going to answer some questions and then I'm going to jump off. I think that the number one thing that people struggle with is like after the course, it's like, where do I go now? What do I do now? And the most important thing that we need to do after the course is, if you're my student, it's get your license and do your models, finish the course. And obviously you already have your social media up and going, so up and running. So running your social media, sharing your journey, all that kind of stuff, posting, getting your Google listing up, getting your website up. And yeah. Just gorgeous. You are hopping out on faith. I do think that you have to do that, and in business you have to take risk, and sometimes taking the little risk is worth it. Actually, it's always worth it to me. Getting clients. What do you think of boosting an ad on Instagram? I think that nowadays, the way that things are, you need to pay to play. I believe in paying to play. If you don't share your content, and if you're not putting it, if you're not putting some money behind your ads, it's really hard to get visibility in the beginning. So if you want to build your business organically without having to pay, then you have to do a lot more legwork. So what does that mean? What is legwork? Okay, here's some ideas. Connecting with every single hair salon in your city. Connecting with every single nail salon in your city. Letting them know what you do, right? People that work with your target market. So for example, if you do eyebrows, your target market is women, and it might be in a certain age group. So if it's in a certain age group, then you're going to try to befriend, network with people who are also servicing that clientele. So that means hair salons and nail salons are great places to network with the owners. You can offer to do the hair salon owner's eyebrows, and if she loves her eyebrows, she's going to tell every single client of hers about you. That's organic legwork. Paid ads is putting money behind your posts on Facebook, on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Should your models pay a supply fee so that you aren't spending 4 to 5 hours working for free, and so we can't replenish the supplies used on them? So I don't know how many models you're wanting to do, but I would do a limited amount of models, like maybe do like 2 or 3 for free. And then from there, you can charge a supply fee, or you can get right into charging your rate. So it depends. For me, I would do a few models and then get right into charging the rate that it's going to be. I wouldn't mess around too much with the supply fees and stuff like that. And also understand that these people are giving you their face, and they're trusting you. So that means that not only are you giving them your time and your supplies, but they're also giving you their face, right? So I'm a retired hairstylist, and all of my hair clients want it. I'm just scared when I'm alone. Okay, well, this is how you're going to start. Look at your client's eyebrows and start to do the easiest brows first. So what are the easiest brows? The easiest brows are people who have a lot of brow hair. Like my brows would be an easy case to do. Start with people who have a lot of brow hair, and if you do ombre powder brow, you can just fill in their brow. That's going to help you gain some more confidence. And then from there, you can take on more difficult clients. But in the beginning, take on clients who are easy so that you can build confidence. Okay. And also, while I built my business, this is another thing. People leave their full-time jobs really soon because they think that it's like, you know, I worked 7 days a week for a long time when I was building my business. And I had a full-time job and I had my brow business, and I was doing both at the same time. And I left my job once my brow business was established. So you want to make sure that I was using the money from my job to pay for ads for my brow business, and that's how I got it going. For my brow business, and that's how I got it going. All right, people. Well, it is 8:30. Hopefully this was helpful for somebody. I hope that you guys took notes on the things that you need to do to establish your business. All right, people. Well, it is 8:30. All right, so before we go, I'll tell you about what we have coming up. If you're interested in training courses, you click the link in the bio and all the training information is there. If you're interested in booking appointments, we have Megan and Tiffany who take brow clients here at the studio. And they have an introductory rate right now of $399. First session, $150. Follow-up, pricing is going to be going up soon, so make sure that you book in with them at that rate if you want to take advantage of that. They're doing amazing work, and it is worth way more than $550. So get in on it and book your appointment. Don't wait for that. And that's it. How long did you decide when to leave your full-time business? Okay, I broke it down into, basically what I did was, if I calculated how much my business was, how much I was making from my full-time job. I calculated how much I was making from my full-time job. So let's say, we're gonna make it easy. Let's say you're making $50,000 from your full-time job. In order to transition from my full-time job to the eyebrows, I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to at least make up for that. So that I wasn't taking a hit financially. If you have kids and a family that depend on you, you want to make sure that you're not being financially irresponsible and leaving your job too soon. So, you want to be careful about that. But I will say that leaving my job was the best thing I could have ever done, because it allowed, my income went up afterwards by a lot, because I had already had built my clientele. So you want to make sure that you have something going steady, that you're booked out for a little bit before you leave your job. How do you suggest running the back end of the business? Okay, I suggest that you get online booking. And I use Vagaro, V-A-G-A-R-O, for online booking. But the simplest and easiest online booking platform, I believe, is Square. And Square is easy to use, and I think it's free. So I recommend that you do Square for your bookings and also for your checkouts. It's going to be easy for you. How far were you booked out to make a decision? I was booked out for 3 months when I left. And I was only working Saturday, Sunday, and 2 days in the evening, 2 days during the week in the evening. Once the 2 days in the evenings were booked out and my weekends for 3 months, I left my job. How long did it take me to build clients? I built my clients steadily. So in the beginning, I didn't have anybody, and I was renting a chair 1 day a week from someone else, and I literally had no one there. Like, I was paying rent and I didn't have clients at first. So it took me a little bit to build my clientele. This does not happen this is not overnight. It takes a little bit of time. But be consistent with the things that I talked about, and you will be okay. You just cannot give up on it. That's the key. Yeah, in the beginning I didn't have clients, and then little by little it built up. How long did it take on one client when you started? It took me, some people was like 3 hours, some people was like 5 hours. So it really depends. I would say the average right now for some of the girls that are newer is like 4 hours. Shout out to Tiffany, she's in here. Lilium is here. Atenita is here. Ashlyn is here. Natalie's here. I use hybrid pigments, butterfly brows. My favorite pigments are hybrid. A mix of organic and inorganic. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I see that there's people on the live that I don't get to connect with a lot on Instagram. Please feel free to reach out to me with questions. I will always try to help you guys in any way that I can. I believe in giving information, not hoarding knowledge. So please feel free to always reach out to me if you need anything. And I'm gonna try to save this live, but first I need to make the cover photo for the live. So let me do that now on Canva. I'm gonna make the cover photo for this live. Let's see. I wonder if I can just make it the flyer. Hybrid pigments. I use hybrid pigments, so it's a combination of, it's a mix of organic and inorganic. So the Beauty Angels pigments are hybrid as well. Let me see what this is gonna look like. I think it'll be fine. I'm just gonna use the flyer as the cover. Okay guys, I'm gonna get off and save this live. If you guys need anything else, feel free to reach out to me. Or just leave, I'm gonna save this live. Leave your question in the comments below, okay? In the comments in the live. All right, see you. You're welcome, Butterfly Brows. Thank you so much for being here, beautiful. All right, peace. Mwah. I'm gonna end the live now.